insurance, second line. Says transfers of monies totally. Totally.
We say approved as amended.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the June 3rd, 2008 regular minutes as amended.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. We have the minutes of July 16th, special.
If you'll allow me a minute, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the July 16th, 2008 special meeting minutes as written.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion?
I believe the correct day of the week is a Wednesday, that's all, not a Monday.
It's true.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the July 16th, 2008 special meeting minutes as amended.
Second again.
Motion by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Can't get anything by you tonight, huh? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Got that second cup of coffee.
And we have the regular minutes of July 21st.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the July 21st, 2008 minutes as written.
I don't know if I should second it yet. We all set that?
Second it, go ahead, Sean.
Go ahead. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary.
We're good.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we have correspondence. Pass your sheets to the right. Anyone here for public comment? Okay. Next item on our agenda is an acknowledge a donation to the police department. Mr. Delaconis?
Board members, you have a copy of the memo from Chief Nolan, which is addressed to me. It indicates that there has been a donation which has been provided by the Scott E. Chapman Foundation. With a copy of the letter dated June 28th to the Belgrade Police Department, and indicates that the $4,000 is for the purposes of assisting efforts associated with the school resource officer program, specifically to assist with training of officers, provision of handouts, guest speakers, etc. The chief recommends that you would approve and acknowledge this acceptance of this monetary gift and dedicate it for purposes set forth in the motion.
Michael?
Mr. Chairman, I move to acknowledge a donation of $4,000 from the Scott E. Chapman Foundation, Incorporated, on behalf of the Police Department for the School Resource Officer Program.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. Dino. Discussion or comments?
Just, I have a question. Is this going to augment the money that we set aside like for DARE? Or, the correspondence hasn't been slashed. I mean, if you recall, a couple of years ago, we made sure that we maintained a certain level of funding for the DARE program and for officers to be in the schools, even though the DARE funding dried up.
The way I read this was more for training officers that participate in the school programs versus paying for them to be in the school. Maybe I've read too deeply into this, but
If I may, the SRO is not a DARE program. The SRO is a separate program.
So this is in addition to.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that
yeah,
we're maintaining
yeah. No,
our
it would be-
commitment, budgetarily ourselves here, our commitment to the school system and having the police officers present, for the DARE type programs. And if this is to supplement that, all the better. That's terrific.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
want it to supplant it. you know, and I don't want the department to feel as though they have an additional, whatever it is, $4,000 here.
This fund, is focused more on alcohol abuse.
Yeah, alcohol and drugs, yeah. It's a similar, you know, idea, I guess. I just wanna make sure that we maintain our commitment and, maintain, our level of, participation in the schools by the police department. And if this is to supplement it, that's terrific. I just don't want it to supplant it and not get any more out of it. I think it's terrific, and again, the department's to be congratulated for seeking out the funding and grant money, and certainly to the foundation that's providing this, we're grateful.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Before we get into a somewhat lengthy discussion of our mission statement and community vision statements, I see a couple in the audience. Are you here for a specific purpose? Oh, okay, all right,
Sitting through one of our meetings certainly gets you closer.
Okay, give me a minute. What I've done is, just so that our television audience...
Must be the
can
NASDAQ
see what we're
cross.
doing, put it on the right cross of the white space.
So they said it's time to leave. This would have been a nice time to have Captain Cook deliver the stuff from Mario's.
Absolutely.
Place to call, Mike?
Sure, why not?
Just call him Mario's, the moderator.
So the other night, we left off with basically a first draft mission statement, vision statement, and SWOT, and Bill Tonis presented that to department heads who had some comments, which I included the slides.
I don't believe they are.
No.
But you'll see one here. Mostly were related, they've added a couple, and in addition, they had suggested some of trends were really threats.
And weaknesses.
And
I think there was one opportunity though.
Yes. So, this is where we left things. The Board of Selectmen as stewards of the public trust shall set policy, that is, and we had the words in there, consistent with the town charter, respectful of the needs of the community, the laws of the Commonwealth, and within the financial means of the community. It shall seek all opportunities that will advance the overall well-being of the community and its citizens by providing the best quality education, public safety, and public health. It shall provide the necessary leadership through consensus building and communication for the benefit of its employees, and consistency by convincing them of their vested interest in the town. And I think there was some discussion of whether or not we should remove what's in brackets, first sentence.
I would leave it in. I think you have to take a look at the mission statement. You have to realize you have to go back to the town charter. It all starts with the town charter. So in that regard, I would be consistent with the town charter in the mission statement.
What about the laws of the Commonwealth?
Likewise. Laws of common path we follow, can't forget about them. I would acknowledge it up front.
I need
Everyone's
some help on that
cognizant.
bottom delete. We're talking about deleting the last.
Oh, it's just a note that the
What, it's a
items in
delete
the
top
brackets
of
are.
Yeah, I think it's
Question
just-
delete,
Okay,
Right.
fine.
nothing
Well-
more than that.
Okay?
Yeah, I echo Sean, we're certainly gonna abide by the charter and the laws of the Commonwealth. I think it's, put it right out there, that's what we're gonna do. I would leave it in.
So everybody's comfortable after sitting on it for 2 weeks?
I still think it's a little redundant, but that's fine. You know, though it's, I don't think we need to state it up front. I think anything we're supposed to be doing, and we are doing, should be and would be, up to a certain point, consistent with the charter and the laws of the Commonwealth, otherwise we're gonna hear about it anyway. But that's fine.
All right, so I think it's a consensus of the board to leave it in.
Yeah.
Next item was a vision statement.
Can I just, get down to the, you just go back, back a little bit here? Just in the last sentence. It, meaning the board shall provide the necessary leadership through consensus building and communication for the benefit of its employees.
I think something's left out of there. I think it was.
I would say for the benefit of the community and, you know,
I
the
think there's
employees can be a
something left out.
portion
I
of
think
what
what
we're
you
trying to
said
do,
was-
but we're missing the rest of the community.
Is it supposed to be employees in constituency, not consistently? Not, because it says the benefit of its
It is
employees in
constituency.
Yeah,
consistency.
maybe, yeah, constituency.
I think it's supposed to be
Now, put
constituency, not
constituency first.
I would think so. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, because Bob, you see where it says employees and consistency? I think consistency was supposed to be constituency.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. And I would put constituency first.
yes.
Not to diminish the role the employees play in delivering the services for our constituency, and delivering the services, but, taxpayers first, I think. You have a comment, Bob?
Mr.
What?
Chairman?
I,
Sure. What?
Can't hear it.
It's not advocating, but basically what we're trying to accomplish here is to communicate such that the community and the employees understand that they have a vested interest in the overall community, projects and things that we're bringing forward.
I think part of what the discussion that took place the other night, a couple of weeks ago, we chose the word convincing because that's part of what we have to do, is we have to not just advocate, but we have to convince people that they really do have a vested interest, because I've found over the years, the vast majority of people are not engaged and are not necessarily feeling empowered or part of the process. They just figure things happen to them, not necessarily for them, but to them, you know, as a result of what the actions we take. And we thought it was important to convince them that they have a vested interest in the town as a whole, regardless of, you know, whether it be the education system, the public safety, the health. So yeah, it's not just advocate. We actually have to go out and sell it. We have to tell people, we have to sell it to them. They really do have a vested interest.
I understand what your view of that, but I think this is directed to us. And as Steve said, this is our job. We have to have it in our mind that we have to go out and do it, we have to go out and sell it. Not convincing in the sense that blindly convincing people or persuading them, but to show them